Today we're going to be having a look at making money and just a few ways in which people actually make money. So, most people get paid what's called an hourly rate. There's a few different ways that you can be paid that hourly rate. For most jobs, if you work, say 6 hours, and for each hour you make $25 per hour, well, you multiply those two things together, and your wage, 6 times 25, is $150 for the week, or for that session, that day. However, sometimes when you're working, you're going to get different rates. And a few examples are time and a half or double time. And usually we group these as something called overtime, right? Overtime. And overtime just means that you're working not necessarily in your usual hours or on weekends, Sundays, days where you should have off, outside of your hours, overnight shifts, that sort of stuff. A lot of the time, your weekly pay is going to be based on a mixture of hourly rate and then time and a half and double time. So, what does overtime actually mean in practice? Well, for time and a half, that means that whatever number you would normally get, or however much money you'd normally get, you get that times 1.5, time and a half, 1.5. For double time, it's times 2, and slightly rarer, but you do see it as double time and a half, which would be times 2.5. Double time and a half. Alright, so we're just going to focus on these ones. So for time, no extra conversions. I mean, if you really want, you can think it's just times 1, but in practice, we're never going to write times 1 in this sort of circumstance. So let's have a go through a few questions. Alrighty, so Mary works for a bakery for $18.50 per hour. She works from 3 a.m. until 1 p.m. each day and gets overtime at time and a half for each hour before 7 a.m. So calculate her daily pay. Alrighty, so since she's working at a bakery for that, $18.50 per hour, so that's the rate she's working at. And she's working from 3 a.m. till 1 p.m., which you can either count using your fingers or you can just work it out. But you can go 4 a.m.'s 1 hour, 5 a.m., 6, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So that's 10 hours in total. However, those 10 hours that she's getting paid are split into two groups. One is getting time and a half, and that's from the hours of 3 a.m. until 8 a.m. So that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be 5 of the hours are at time and a half, while the other 5 hours are just at the standard rate. Okay, so this is the time and a half, whereas the other is just standard time. The other 5 hours are just standard time. Alrighty, so to work out her daily pay, well, we just need to multiply each of these by their hourly rate. So let's do that. Alrighty, so 10 hours in total, 5 hours at double time, time and a half. So that's going to be 18. Yeah, let's do this in blue. So $18.50 times how many hours did she work? Well, she worked 5 hours. But then at time and a half, so times 1.5. Plus, she also just worked 5 regular hours at her standard rate. So that'd be $18.50 times 5 hours. So this is going to be her total pay. So you can see there's 2 different components here. In blue, you have what she's getting for time and a half, and in black, you can see what she's getting for her regular day, hours, or her regular hours that aren't getting overtime. So let's calculate this. So for this single session, she's going to be making $231.25. That is her amount of money per day. That's what she gets every day that she works. So assuming she works for 4 days a week, for part B, calculate her weekly pay. Well, 4 days per week times $231.25, and that's going to tell us that she makes $925 per week. Alrighty, and so that's a quick introduction into how do people actually make money. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.